Welcome to the vault, my Halloween haunts of Second Life. I'm Felix Lubezki, your vault keeper from the crypt. Well, it's time for another terrifying tale from my collection here in the dank and dismal vault of horror. And as always, I've selected a few ginger peachy, one for your fiendish pleasures. Do you believe in haunted houses? Ever wonder why or how they get that way? Well, if you promise not to become too frightened, I'll tell you. Here it is, the tale called the Mausoleum. The wind howled across the bleak English moors, whipping the man's coattails, lashing the rocky countryside with stinging fury. An eternal mist clung to the ground, and fine spray saturated the air with excessive moisture. From beyond the jagged cliffs, he could hear the booming surf. He watched the monotonous soaring of the hawks high above. He was definitely pleased. The man smiled broadly and walked briskly along the road until he arrived at the door. To the castle he knocked. Yes? How do you do? My name is Martin, Howard Martin. I'd like to speak to the owner of this castle. I own this castle. Name is Weatherby. Just the man I want to see. May I come in? The steps echoed again and again from within the stone corridor walls as the doddering Mr. Weatherby led the way to the library. This place is magnificent. Oh, thank you, sir. It has quite a history. Please, sit down. Mr. Weatherby, I came here from the United States to find a castle just like this one. I want to buy it, and you can set the price. I'm flattered, Mr. Martin. That is indeed a fine offer. I've always wanted to live in a place like this. It fascinates me. I'm going to have every bit of it transported to the States and rebuild it just... But, Mr. Martin, I'm afraid the castle is not for sale. But why not? I said I'd pay anything you ask. I want this castle. Price is no object. Just name it. I'm very wealthy. Mr. Martin, this castle has been in our family for centuries. I'd never sell it. Now, don't be hasty. Think it over. There's my card. I'm sorry, Mr. Martin. The decision stands. This castle is not for sale. Good day. Well, Mr. Witherby, you have my card. I expect you to remain in London for a few more weeks, so... Good day, Mr. Martin. Uncle, have you gone mad? A chance like that only comes once in a lifetime. Nephew, mind your manners. While I'm head of the house, the castle shall stay intact. But you know we can't pay the taxes. We're broke. You must sell the castle. Nephew, please, the castle will not be sold. I will not let you do it. You'll die soon, and all the debts will be on my shoulders. What about me? What about me? Stop. You're shaking me. I'm not going to rot in this creepy place. This is my chance to get out from under, and you're not going to spoil it. Nephew, please, wait. What are you going to do with that? The blow split Mr. Weatherby's head wide open, and he fell heavily to the stone floor. The nephew released his grip on the weapon and knelt beside the blood-covered body of a little old man. He rummaged quickly through his pockets. Ah, here it is. Howard Martin, Dorchester Hotel, London. The young man lifted his uncle's body to his shoulders and carried him outside to a small building, the family mausoleum. Safest place. They'll never think to look here. With a key from the old man's pocket, he opened the huge iron doors and brought the corpse inside. He opened one of the ornate coffins. Whew, this place stinks. Now to shove him in. Quickly, he closed the coffin lid and left the mausoleum. He made certain the door was locked, then entered the castle and cleaned away the accusing blood. There, I'll put this thing back where I got it, and then... Guess you could say old Mr. Weatherby had a split personality. Anyway, the nephew took one of his uncle's hats and tossed it into a quicksand bob a short way from the castle. Then he raced to the police station in the village. Try to calm yourself, Mr. Weatherby. Tell us just what happened. It's horrible. My uncle and I were out walking through the bogs. Then suddenly he tripped and fell from the pass into the quicksand. He's gone. Naturally, there was an investigation. They tried grappling for the body, but they never found it. They only found the uncle's hat. Sorry, Mr. Weatherby, but it's hopeless. We have to give it up. Wouldn't have got the hat, except it was too late to think. No body, no murder. The inquest was brief. In view of the evidence, or lack of it, we declare Cornelius Weatherby legally dead, and hereby state that the cause of his death was accidental due to... Immediately following the verdict, the nephew went directly to the Dorchester Hotel. Mr. Martin, I am Nathan Weatherby. My uncle said you were interested in purchasing our castle, and... Weatherby, of course. Come in, come in. They talked for a long time, but finally... Then it's settled. The entire castle is yours for 100,000 American money. But remember, not the mausoleum. That must not be touched. Precisely. I'll make out a check right now. Oh, by the way, the castle, it is haunted, isn't it? I mean, after all, old English castles are supposed to be. Haunted? Of course, definitely, Mr. Martin. Why, I guarantee it. Sign the check, please. And so the castle was torn down, stone by stone, shipped to America, and there, stone by stone, it was rebuilt. Back in England, Nathan Weatherby, now well-to-do, happened to meet an old acquaintance. Aye, Nathan, there's weird goings-on at the old castle grounds. It's good ye sold it when ye did. Weird doings at the castle, what do you mean? No one dares go near us since ye left. Every night they tell of wails and awful moaning sounds that come from the mausoleum. What? The mausoleum? Good heavens, I'd better investigate. That night, Nathan stealthily visited the site of the old castle. The wind shrieked in his ears, and the mist-filled air chilled him to the bone. He looked around searchingly. Good Lord, the mausoleum! It's gone! Several hours later, a transcontinental plane sped through the ebony sky towards America. Blasted idiot! I distinctly told him not to touch the mausoleum. If anyone opens that coffin... And in America, Mr. Martin joyfully crawled into bed to spend his first night in the castle. Ah, this is the life. What are those noises? Curiously, he stepped on a robe and peered out his window. Sounds like it's coming from the garden. Good Lord! Shocked yet entranced, he clutched his robe tighter as he watched a grisly sight that unfolded before his eyes. There on the lawn, illuminated by the eerie, cold blue moonlight, the half-dozen creatures were rebuilding the ancient mausoleum. Their bodies were rotted and decayed. Some were nothing more than skeletons, and chunks of skin seemed to fall from their frames as they worked. Yet each was exceptionally strong, for they carried the stone blocks with ease. I can't believe it. It's so horrible, but fascinating. The castle really is haunted. He watched in awe for untold hours as the small building gradually took shape. In the small hours of the morning they worked, efficiently, silently. Mr. Martin remained awake as long as he could, but finally he fell asleep by the window. He woke with a start. The warm sun streamed into the room, and the twittering of birds met his ears. The garden was silent and deserted, but the completed mausoleum stood, mute testimony to the event he had witnessed. I thought I had been dreaming, but was it true? It was true. Hurriedly he made for the garden. The mausoleum still remained, ominous, foreboding. It's real, how wonderful! He examined the small building carefully, front and rear, and all around the general area. Confound it, not a trace of those things. Even the door is locked. Wonder if they're inside. Blast it, why do I have to fall asleep when I did? I missed the best part. Only one thing to do, I'll watch again tonight. Maybe I'll see them once more. But Mr. Martin wasn't the only one interested in the mausoleum. That night, Nathan Weatherby scaled the walls surrounding the estate. There's the castle. The mausoleum should be right behind it. And in his window, Mr. Martin watched. Nothing happened yet. Good Lord, a good thing I slept all day. I won't miss anything tonight. Huh? What's that? Unaware that he was being watched, Nathan fervently sneaked across the lawn to the mausoleum. As he confronted it, he stopped, his eyes bulging from their sockets in horror. The door, it's opening. Transfixed in terror, he could not evade the clutching, withering arm that extended from the inky blackness and snatched him inside. Immediately the iron door slammed shut. Mr. Martin was incredulous, yet extremely pleased. Hang it all, I should have brought binoculars. I wasn't able to tell if that person was alive or just one of those creatures. Good heavens, those awful screams. It's amazing. I wonder what they could be doing. Inside the depths of the mausoleum, Nathan was being thrust into an ornate coffin. A half-dozen corpses forced and pushed him into the gaping box, brushing aside his frantic tries to free himself. No, no, stop! You can't do this to me! Stop! Grinning, haunted faces leered down on him. Pieces of decayed flesh and chunks of maggot-infested bone came off in his hands as he struggled mightily. But he fought in vain. The lid closed over him and hammers nailed a rhythm to his death cries. Mr. Martin is extremely satisfied with his purchase. It truly is a haunted castle. So proud is he that every night he invites guests to listen to the agonizing wails that emanate from inside the mausoleum. Nothing like a happy ending. Isn't it sad that Nathan and his uncle had to split up? But that's life, or is it death? Anyway, I bet Nathan would like to blow his lid. His coffin lid, that is. Well, time to go. The crypt keeper is chomping at the bit, dying to tell you his story. See you soon. Now it's my turn to entertain you, so come on in. Come to the Crypt of Terror. Once again, your Crypt Keeper has chosen a story adapted from a tale by that master of horror and fantasy, Ray Bradbury. This chiller is one of my favorites. It's called Let's Play Poison. Michael screamed. Recess was over, and Mr. Howard, the teacher, was still absent from the filling room. The 16 boys and girls crowded about Michael. We hate you! The 16 boys and girls, bumping and clustering and breathing, raised a window. It was 3 flights down to the sidewalk. Michael flailed. We hate you! They took hold of Michael and pushed him out the window. Mr. Howard, their teacher, came into the room shouting, Wait a minute! Michael fell 3 flights. Michael died. Nothing was done about it. The police shrugged eloquently. These children were 8 or 9. They didn't understand what they were doing, so... It's my resignation, sir. I'll never teach again. But why? Mr. Howard gave no answer. He remained silent, and as a terrible light filled his eyes. And later, he remarked, if I told them the truth, they would think me quite insane. Mr. Howard packed his things and went to live in a small nearby town for 7 years on an income managed from writing poetry. He never married. The few women he approached always desired. A big family? I love big families, don't you? Children? Good Lord. In the autumn of his 7th year of self-enforced retirement, a good friend of Mr. Howard's, a teacher, fell ill. For lack of a proper substitute, Mr. Howard was summoned and convinced that it was his duty to take over the class. Because he realized the appointment could last no longer than a few weeks, Mr. Howard agreed, unhappily, on that Monday morning in September as Mr. Howard slowly paced the aisles of the schoolroom. He announced, Sometimes I actually believe that children are invaders from another dimension. He stopped, and his shiny dark eyes snapped from face to face of a small audience. Sometimes I believe children are little monsters thrust from hell, because the devil could no longer cope with them, and I certainly believe that everything should be done to reform their uncivil little minds. Most of Mr. Howard's words ran unfamiliarly into the washed and unwashed ears of the children around him, but all stared at him as if hypnotized. You are another race entirely. Your motives, your disobediences, you're not human, you are children. Therefore, until such times as you are adults, you have no right to demand privileges or question your elders who know better. Mr. Howard paused and put his elegant rump upon the chair behind the neat desk. Living in a world of fantasy, well, there will be no fantasy here. You'll soon discover that a ruler on your hand is no dream, no fairy frill, no Peter Pan excitement. Have I frightened you? I have. Good. You deserve to be. I want you to know where we stand. I'm not afraid of you. Here, what are you whispering about? Back there, some necromancy or another? Damn it. That's good. What's necromancy? The little girl raised her hand. We'll discuss that when our 2 young friends, Master Arnold and Master Bowers, explain their whispers. Well, young men? Donald Bowers arose. We don't like you, that's all we said. I like frankness and truth. Thank you for your honesty, but simultaneously I do not tolerate flippant rebellion. You'll stay an hour after school and watch the boards. After school, walking home with autumn leaves falling both before and after his passing, Mr. Howard caught up with four of the students. He rapped his cane sharply on the sidewalk. Here, what are you children doing? Explain, what were you doing here when I came up? Playing poison. The teacher's face twisted. He was carefully sarcastic. Poison? 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 Playing poison. Well, and how does one play poison? Whenever we come to a dead man, we jump over him. If you jump on a dead man's grave, then you're poisoned and fall down and die. Dead man's grave? Poisoned? Where did you get this dead man idea? See, on the square, the names of the two dead men. Ridiculous. Those are the names of the contractors who mixed and laid the cement sidewalk. Edith and Clara both gasped wildly and turned accusing eyes to the two boys. You said they were gravestones. Yeah, they are. Well, almost anyway. Deliberate lies, falsifications of the highest caliber. There'll be no more of this, understand? Mr. Howard swung off down the street. Up a bird dropped something right down smack on his nose. Come on, Clara, let's play poison. It's been spoiled. I'm going home. I'm poisoned. Look, I'm poisoned. Ugh. Oh, whatever. Saturday morning, Mr. Howard glanced out his front window and swore when he saw Isabella making chalk marks on the sidewalk and then hopping about, making a monotonous sing-song with her voice. Stop that! Rushing out, he almost flung her to the pavement in his emotion. He grabbed her and he shook her violently and let her go and stood over her and the chalk marks. I was only playing hopscotch. I don't care. You can't play it here, young witch. Bending, he erased the chalk marks with his handkerchief, muttering. Pentagrams, rhymes, and incantations, and all looking perfectly innocent. God, how innocent, you little fiend. Made as if to strike her, but stopped. Isabel ran off, wailing. Go ahead, you little fool. Run and tell your cohorts that you failed. They will have to try some other way. They won't get around me, they won't. Oh no. Mr. Howard stalked back into the house and poured himself a stiff drink of brandy. The rest of the day he heard the children playing kick the can and hide and seek and over Annie, jacks, tops, miss, and the sound of the little monsters in every shrub and shadow would not let him rest. Another week of this and I'll go stark staring mad. God in heaven, why weren't we all born adults? Another week, and then the hatred growing between him and the children, the hate and the fear growing apace. But they won't touch me. They won't dare touch me. It's a very silly, anyhow, and there's nothing to it. I'll soon be away from here, and then soon, suddenly, there was a white skull at the window. The days grew short, the nights came too soon, and then they started working on the water main outside Mr. Howard's house. Good Lord, that's all I needed. Children love excavations, hiding places, pipes and conduits and trenches. They were ever a scramble over and on and down and in and up and out of the holes where the new pipes were being laid. Mr. Howard had to continually chase them. I told you to stay away from there. Now go on home. Aw. It was 8 o'clock of the Thursday evening. It had been a long week with angry flares and accusations. But now it was finished, thank the Lord, and tomorrow the workmen would shovel in the earth and in his deep water main excavation, and they'd tamp it down and put in a new cement sidewalk, and those horrible little beasts will go away, then maybe. There was a white skull at the window. Good Lord! There should be no doubt that a boy's hand held the skull against the glass, tapping and moving it. There was a childish tittering from outside. Hey, you! Mr. Howard burst from the house. He exploded in the midst of the three running boys. He leapt after them, shouting and yelling. The street was dark, but he saw the figures dart beyond and below him. He saw them sort of bound and could not remember the reason for this until too late. The earth opened under him, and he fell into the pit, his head taking a terrific blow from the lane water pipe. And as he lost unconsciousness, he had an impression of an avalanche set off by his fall, cascading down cool, moist pellets of dirt upon his pants, his shoes, upon his coat, upon his spine, upon the back of his neck, his head, filling his mouth, his ears, his eyes, his nostrils. The neighbor lady with the eggs, wrapped in a napkin, knocked on Mr. Howard's door the next day for 5 minutes. When she opened the door finally and walked in, she found nothing but speckles of rug dust floating in the sunny air, as she said many times in the following years. Funniest thing, whatever happened to Mr. Howard? And adults, being what they are, never observant, paid no attention to the children playing poison in the following autumns. Even when the children left over one particular square of cement, turned around and glanced at the marks on it, which read, M. Howard, R.I.P. Who's Mr. Howard, Billy? Oh, I guess he's the guy who laid the cement. What does R.I.P. mean? Oh, who knows? You're poisoned. You stepped on it. Get along, children. Don't block Mother's path. Get along. Yeah, well, that's it, kiddies. That's Mr. Bradbury's tale, the way he wrote it. I hope you liked it. Now, I'll turn you back to the Vault Keeper. I have more Bradbury chillers in the future, so look for them. Bye now. There's a fellow in the press room today, and he was a friend of Brian Conrad. Just thought he'd drop in on him. Well, I told the fellow that Conrad didn't work on the Daily Chronicle anymore. He asked for information about Conrad's whereabouts or forwarding address. I told the fellow that Conrad had walked out of here, camera in hand, on an assignment and never bothered to come back. I knew I was on that assignment with him. That was 5 months ago. The paper had changed a lot since then. In fact, Conrad was responsible for building up its circulation with his sensational on-the-spot photos. Remember that picture of the buddy killing in Maloney's Tavern? The taxi driver had his face blasted away with a shotgun by a fellow hacky. Seems they'd argued over a fare. Well, Conrad stood on the bar and snapped a bomb-sight shot of the whole mess on the floor. Then there was this time the police pulled that blue and bloated floater out of the river. The corpse's features were all distorted by the expansion of gases formed by the decomposing tissue. The bullet hole between its bulging eyes had enlarged to the size of a $50. Nothing bothered Conrad. He told me the floater's skin peeled off in the police crew's glove when they lifted the fish-bitten body out of the river. I guess there's a bit of inhuman streak in all of us that allows us to be exhilarated by a vicarious sacrifice. I'd see the men in the printing room turning the front pages at every angle as soon as it came off the presses. One of Conrad's gems usually crowded the masthead. Maybe I'm just soft, but I've seen fellow soldiers die in a Japanese prison camp in the last war. Just before they expired, they'd creep away to a secluded part of the barracks. A man likes to die with some semblance of human dignity. Then there was that terrible explosion at the gunpowder plant. Conrad took pics through the acrid smoke. Those four tormented, suffocated, humid torches ran out of the inferno and collapsed in charred heaps on the ground before him. Conrad always had a cast-iron stomach. Well, he talked the editor into playing up this particular photo real big. Said it would give impetus to the new safety program for plants manufacturing explosives. When Conrad wasn't covering suicides, stabbings, murders, and crawling under wrecked trains, his attention was occupied by lovely Erica Williams, the society editor on the Chronicle. Most people said they made a strange pair, what with their latest fashions and social teas and his penchant for violent sensationalism. It was like the mingling of her soap and water goodness with developing fluid and formaldehyde. The last time I saw Conrad, I was sipping hot coffee with him in the press room. We were alone, and he was telling me the morbid details of all the deaths and disasters he had covered. He was grinning insidiously as he had one chill December morning when we watched a young medical student ease himself off the window ledge on the 10th floor of a mid-lawn hotel. The distraught youth had been despondent over flunking a physiology exam. As the boy's failing body twisted through the air between the abandoned, lifeless ledge and the hotel marquee, the early morning blast wrapped me in an icy despair. And just as the body rebounded off the marquee, Conrad's omnipresent camera mercifully blinded me with its flashing bulb. Conrad would have been sorely disappointed if the boy had changed his mind. Erica Williams entered the press room. I watched her crisp sweep of her black taffeta dress and the fluorescent light shimmering off her matching jacket with an embroidered collar and cuffs. A little black velvet cloak hugged her carefully arranged blonde hair. Conrad greeted her with a chuck under her chin. She smiled warmly. He almost seemed human, for once. He walked Erica outside to where her convertible was parked. She was off to one of her social events. Conrad came inside again and we drank some more coffee in silence. Then I got a tip from the police headquarters, a bad head-on collision involving two cars on Main Street. When Conrad and I arrived at the crash, spectators pointed up at the telephone pole nearby. We pushed through the crowd. Instinctively, Conrad raised his camera, pointed it at a body that had been hurled there by the impact of the crash. The victim had been impaled beneath the chin by an iron climbing spike on the side of the pole. Conrad lowered his camera. The victim's hair was blonde, and a little black velvet clutch held it neatly in place. Picture-perfect death. Last assignment fades to black. Holiday horror next. Well, I see it's time for another idiotic, infantile insanity, another childish chiller, another grim fairy tale. I've chosen a delightful one for you this time, one that ought to tickle your ribs. It's called A Sop for Christmas. Once upon a time, long, long ago, in a huge, beautiful castle, there lived a king, his queen, and their only son, the royal prince. Now, since the young prince was their only son and heir to the throne, the royal couple spoiled the boy. Whatever Prince Tarby, for that was his name, wanted, he received. Whatever he did was never wrong, as the king put it. Tarby is the royal prince, he can do no wrong. The young prince pushed me into the castle moat, your majesty. If he were my child, I'd whip him black and blue. Well, he's not your child, he's the royal prince. He doesn't, and the royal prince does not get whipped. Understand? Yes, yes, your majesty. Thank you, your majesty. The nerve of him, suggesting that I whip dear Tarby. Well, Irving, actually the boy deserves a whipping. He ruined the Prime Minister's new outfit. Too bad, the Prime Minister is so anxious to whip somebody, let him whip his own child. But it was Tarby who... Zounds, Matilda, I've got it. I've got the answer to our problem. Come with me, Tarby. Irving, where are you going? The king ordered his coach. Then he and the prince drove down from the castle into the peasant village far below. Make way! Make way! It's the king and the prince. The coach is stopping. The king poked his head out of the coach and scanned the sea of faces before him. Suddenly he pointed. You, come here. He points to the baker's child. What does he want with him? The king stared down at the small boy before him, and then at Prince Tarby, then at the boy again. With a grunt of satisfaction, he nodded. Yes, very good, very good. Where is your father or mother, you ragamuffin? I am the boy's father, your majesty. What do you want with him? The boy is coming with me to the castle. He will live there as Prince Tarby's companion. No, no, he is my son. You cannot take him from me. Would you deny your son the advantages I can offer him? Good food, good clothes, and education? No, but... The coach door swung open. Get in, boy. I command you. The king orders you, my son. No, father, no. The boy's father pushed his young son into the coach. Do not cry, son. It is for your own good. Will we be able to see him again, your majesty? At Christmas. I'll let him come home for Christmas. All right, coachman? Make way, make way. The baker's son was taken to the castle, but when he arrived, he soon found out that there was more to it than just being spoiled. Prince Tarby's companion. There was a catch. And from now on, ladies and gentlemen of the court, when Prince Tarby is bad, he is to be punished. But you will not whip Prince Tarby, you will whip his companion here. You will whip Prince Tarby's whipping boy. And so, the first whipping boy came into being. The poor baker's son became Prince Tarby's whipping substitute. Anytime Tarby was bad, the whipping boy was punished. Sob, sob. That was wrong of you to put the cat in the oven, Tarby. Yes, Royal Chief, I won't do it again, Royal Chief. Not only was the whipping boy thrashed for Prince Tarby's misdoings, there was other substitutions. What do you mean you hate baths? You got to take a bath. Now come on. Just one moment, Royal Washer. Oh, whipping boy. Yes, Prince Tarby. The whipping boy was made to substitute for all of Prince's distasteful responsibilities. Spinach is good for you. You must eat your spinach, Prince Tarby. Yes, Royal Dietitian. Whipping boy. Pass me your plate, choked Prince Tarby. Summer passed, and fall came to the kingdom, and with it came, go to school. I hate school. The royal whipping boy will attend school for me. Royal tutor, whipping boy, royal whipping boy. Yes, Prince Tarby, when do I start, royal tutor? Tomorrow morning, royal whipping boy, 8 o'clock. And so the whipping boy even had to go to school for Prince Tarby. There wasn't anything that Prince Tarby disliked that he had to do. The royal whipping boy did them all. Your room is a disgrace, Prince Tarby. Toys all over. Clean it up. Royal whipping boy. The worst of all was when Prince Tarby was bad on purpose just to see the whipping boy receive the whipping. And I hope this teaches you a lesson, young man. Finally, winter drew near. The first snow blanketed the castle and the castle grounds. It's almost Christmas time, Prince Tarby. Soon I will see my mother and father again. And Santa Claus will come and fill my stocking and bring me presents. And Santa Claus will fill my stocking and bring me presents. Ho ho, listen to the whipping boy. Don't you know that Santa Claus doesn't bring things to bad little boys? But I haven't been bad. You've been punished, haven't you? I've seen it. I've seen you whipped a dozen times or more a week. Only bad little boys get whipped. I don't get whipped. I'm good. Santa will visit me, not you. Finally, on the day before Christmas, a coach brought the breaker's boy, the whipping boy, down from the castle to the village far below, to the child's mother and father. My baby, my son, Mommy, Daddy. I'll be back to pick him up tomorrow night. Then he told his mother and father all about the castle and why the king had brought him there. And so, if he's bad, I get whipped for him. But that doesn't make me bad, does it, father? Mother? Of course not, my child. The dream. Then Santa Claus will fill my stocking and he will bring me presents. Well, of course, my son. Why shouldn't he? Yes, Prince Tarby said Santa wouldn't. He said that bad little boys get whipped, and since I got whipped. Never you mind, my son. Go, hang up a stocking, the biggest one you can find. And so, with tears of joy streaming down his little face, the royal whipping boy hung up a large, threadbare stocking. Herkimer, you know we have no money. How could we? Hush, Susquehanna, the boy will hear you. Then he climbed into his bed and fell fast asleep, a faint smile on his tear-stained face. How could you promise the boy, Herkimer? You know we're broke. Now he'll expect Santa Claus to fill his stocking and give him presents. King should do it, Susquehanna. The king should do it after all that boy's been through. He owes it to him. The king should fill Melvin's stocking, and I'm going to ask him to. Herkimer, come back. He'll laugh at you. He'll laugh. And so that night, he laughed at me, Susquehanna. Come to bed, Herkimer. But the next morning, Daddy, Mommy, wake up, Santa was here. Huh? What? The boy skipped and danced as he led his sleepy-eyed parents to the pile of gaily wrapped packages. See? Well, I'll be. Look, a note. What does it say, Herkimer? It says, Merry Christmas, Melvin. Since you were the prince's whipping boy, you deserve his presents. And there's one for your daddy, too. Just what he asked for. And it's signed, Santa Claus. Indeed, there was a present for the whipping boy's daddy, but it was not quite what he expected. The stocking, hanging over the dusty old fireplace, bulged strangely. It was red and sticky, and a scarlet stream dripped from the hole in its toe to the warm hearth. Look, Herkimer. Good Lord. Yes, Herkimer had wanted the king to fill Melvin's stocking, so Santa had given him what he wanted. Yes, kiddies, Melvin's stocking was filled by the king, piece by piece. Grim? That's the idea of my little fairy tale. Now, when you get up on Christmas morning and look at what your stocking is filled with, don't be surprised at what you find. I understand that Santa couldn't quite use all he had, so you might get some leftover king. Oh, by the way, after that Christmas, everybody in the kingdom lived happily ever after, because that's the way all fairy tales end. Ever grim ones. Bye now. Greetings, ghouls. It's Nap time in the haunt of fear once again. Your reeking recipe rustler-upper, the old witch, is ready to dish out another delicious delirium delving. So come in, crawl up to the fire, tuck your drool cups under the flabby chins, fasten your slurp shrouds around your scrawny necks, and I'll serve you this sanity-shattering special for today called Pickled Pints. The grime-covered derelict stood on the litter-strewn sidewalk, staring with bloodshot eyes in the Bowery Bar window. His nervous fingers were thrust deep into the pockets of his shabby pants, feeling hopefully for coins which he knew were not there. Behind him, a well-dressed man studied the seedy character, watching him lick his dried and cracked lips thirstily. How'd you like a drink, buddy? Huh? Who, me? You offering me a drink? The well-dressed man edged closer to the down and outer. No, I'm not offering you a drink. I'm offering you a chance to make $10 so you can buy your own. $10? That's a lot of dough. What's the catch? No catch. It only takes a few minutes. All you have to do is become a blood donor. A what? A blood donor. Go to this address, donate a pint of blood, and they'll pay you $10. There's nothing to it. Give me the address. 10 minutes later, the Bowery derelict had climbed the rickety stairs of the ancient loft building and knocked on the scarred and battered door. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? I got this address from some guy. He said I could make $10 here if. Oh, yes, of course. You want to donate a pint of blood. Come in. I'll be with you in a moment, just as soon as I finish with this gentleman. Sure. Okay, I'll wait. On a soiled cot, another poorly dressed, white-faced Bowery character lay, watching the tiny stream of red liquid pulsate into the jar that stood on the table beside him. Hello, Jack. This is $10 I ever made. Nothing to it. Nothing at all. No talking, please. Finally, the alcohol-saturated character on the cot was finished. He got up and staggered towards the door. Here's your $10, sir. Now don't forget, eat a good meal and take it easy tonight. Yes, thanks, yes. Now there's a new racket, eh, kiddies? $10 for a pint of blood. Why, everyone knows that private blood banks pay donors up to $30 and $40 for a pint of blood. That is, healthy donors. Men like these down and outers would never be allowed to give blood to legitimate blood banks. That night in the shabby loft building office with the dirty cot, well, Cal, how'd we do today? 19 pints. And at $30 a pint, that's $380 profit. Not bad, not bad. $1.90 apiece. I'll say it isn't bad for a day's work. We're not breaking any laws. If someone wants to sell some of his blood, he's got a perfect right to, and we got a perfect right to buy it. I'll pack the day's take, and you can bring it uptown. Later uptown, at a legitimate blood bank, 19 pints, Herb, that's $570. Well, you guys certainly are cashing in on those poor booze slobs downtown. So what's your making $10 a pint yourself, Herb? The hospital will pay you $40 a pint, and it's gravy. We do all the work. I'm not complaining, Warren. I'd pay a private donor what I pay you. I'm not complaining. Meanwhile, on the Bowery, word was spreading. $10. Gosh, just like I said, just all like that. All you do is go there and they stick the needle in your arm. And you lay there and then you finish and they give you the dope. What's your number of the joint, huh? It was like taking candy from babies, the way Cal and Warren collected pints of blood from the poor drunkards, alcoholics, derelicts, and other unfortunates who hung around the Bowery. And to the unfortunates, it was easy money. Another week of existence, another bottle or two. I want to give a pint of blood. I could use the money. Didn't you give a pint already? You look familiar. Who, me? Not me. Must have been some other guy, not me. Alright, lie on the cot. And so they started to come back, time and again. Whenever their $10 would run out, they get another pint, to get another quart. Warren, there's a bum out here who's given 3 times this month already. So what? If he wants to kill himself, it ain't my affair, is it? Besides, who's gonna miss him when he croaks anyway? Huh? Go ahead, take it from him. Well, alright, Warren, just as you say. Money rolled in for Warren and Cal. He's out cold. Take an extra pint, he'll never know. And then, alright, stand back, give him air. He's Tommy, what's wrong with him? This man is dead. So tragedy finally struck. One of the poor unfortunates who'd given too much of the precious fluid that flowed through his veins had died. Now the Bowery derelicts were frightened. Cal and Warren's little office was empty. How about it, buddy? $10. Not me, mister. I don't want to like Tommy on a slab in a morgue. Cal and Warren became desperate. What do we do, Warren? Nobody wants to give blood anymore. They're scared. Then we'll go out and get 'em, Cal. Come on. And so Cal and Warren, under the cover of darkness, begin to search the back alleys and empty lots around Skid Row. Here comes one now, higher than a kite. Quiet, wait till he gets up to us then. They carried the Shanghaied victim back to the loft building. Easy now, put him on the cot. I don't like this, Warren. Stop your worrying, Cal. He won't remember if he came here under his own steam or not. After you're through taking his blood, slip a 5-spot in his pocket. Then we'll ditch him. Okay, but I still don't like it. Hey, nice guys, Cal and Warren, hey kiddies. When the down and outers wouldn't come to them, they went out and got 'em. Of course, business wasn't as good as it was before, but it was better than nothing. 6 pints? Is that all? What's up, Warren? The bums run out of blood? Just give me the dough, Herb, and forget the cracks. Finally, one evening, as it was growing dark, only one bum came in today, Warren. Come on, let's go out and Shanghai a few. And so, in the gathering shadows, Warren and Cal started down the rickety stairs of the loft building. Hey, look, that door, it's open. I never knew anybody else was in this building. Hello in there. No answer, only the patter of tiny feet on the gray shadows scurried across the floor. What's that, Warren, in that box? Looks like a bum. He's either sleeping or he's out cold. Hey, buddy. Hey, wake up. He's soused. Come on, give me a hand. We certainly didn't have to travel far for our first sucker of the evening. They lifted the unconscious figure from the wooden box and carried him out of the loft and up the rickety stairs to their own office. Ugh, this guy is heavy. He'd be good for 3 pints at least. Did they never notice the thin layer of soil on the bottom of the box where their latest victim had been lying? And just as the sun set beyond the palisades, as they put him down on the soiled cot. I'll lock the door. You start setting up the equipment. Okay. He opened his eyes. His glowing red eyes. Huh? What's the matter? Good Lord! He sprang from the cot, his lips drawn back, revealing white, razor-sharp fangs. Warren! Oh, Lord, it's a... Ah! And the musty old loft building was filled with hysterical shrieks as the vampire attacked. When the police finally came to investigate the horrible screams that had emanated from the empty loft building, they found Warren and Cal, their eyes bulging in their blue faces. Dead. Every drop of blood's been drained from their bodies. Hee, so Warren and Cal, who's been taking blood from, the poor derelicts on Skid Row, ended up without any themselves. Of course, the police never found the vampire. After all, who believes in vampires anyway? Hee, do you? By the way, I've got a large wooden box here in the haunt I'd like to get rid of. Got an address you'd like it shipped to? I'll make sure it arrives just around sundown. Hee. Bye now. We'll all see you next in my mag, The Haunt of Fear. So look for us, eh? And thanks for haunting SL Tonight Studio. Happy Halloween, or else.